You know that person who seems super confident, always has something to prove, always needs to be right, always showing off? Well, psychology says that might not be confidence at all. It might actually be deep insecurity hiding behind a mask. Real confidence is quiet. Fake confidence, it's loud. Let's talk about the science-backed signs someone is secretly insecure even when they seem like they have it all together. 1. They constantly compare themselves to others. Psychologists call this social comparison addiction. Insecure people are obsessed with how they measure up. They check who's doing better, who has more, who looks happier. And here's the kicker. They can't celebrate other people's wins because it makes them feel like they're losing. Secure people, they're too focused on their own path to care about the scoreboard. 2. They overreact to criticism. Even a small comment feels like a personal attack. Why? Because insecure people tie their entire identity to being perfect. One critique doesn't just mean they made a mistake. It means they are the mistake. Psychologically, this is called fragile self-esteem. They can't separate feedback from self-worth. So instead of learning, they get defensive, make excuses, or shut down completely. 3. They need constant validation. Fishing for compliments, posting everything online for likes, asking, "Did I do good?" over and over. Insecure people have what psychologists call external validation dependency. They don't trust their own judgment, so they need everyone else to confirm they're okay. The problem? External validation is like junk food. It feels good for a second, but it never satisfies the real hunger. 4. They brag excessively. Real confidence doesn't need to announce itself, but insecure people, they talk about their achievements nonstop. How much money they make, who they know, what they've done. Psychology shows this is compensatory behavior. They're trying to convince themselves as much as they're trying to convince you, because deep down, they don't believe they're enough. 5. They sabotage their own success. This one's counterintuitive, but it's real. Insecure people often self-sabotage right before they succeed. They procrastinate on the big project. They pick fights before important events. They quit right before the breakthrough. Why? Because psychologists say failure is safer than success when you're insecure. If you fail, at least you controlled it. Success means vulnerability, and that's terrifying. 6. They can't be alone with themselves. Always need the TV on, music playing, friends around, something to distract them. Insecure people avoid silence because silence means confronting their own thoughts, and those thoughts aren't kind. Psychology calls this avoidance behavior. They're running from themselves because being alone means facing the insecurity they've been hiding from everyone else. 7. They take everything personally. Someone's in a bad mood? It must be because of them. Someone didn't text back? They must have done something wrong. Insecure people make everything about themselves because they're hyper-focused on how others perceive them. Psychologically, this is called personalization bias. They can't see that other people's actions usually have nothing to do with them. Here's the thing about insecurity. It's not permanent. It's a pattern, and patterns can change. But the first step is seeing it. The scary part? Most insecure people have convinced themselves they're confident. They've played the role so long, they believe their own performance. But real confidence? It doesn't need to prove anything. It doesn't need to compare, or brag, or seek validation. Real confidence is secure enough to admit mistakes, celebrate others, and be alone with itself. If you want to keep learning about the hidden psychology behind human behavior, the patterns most people never notice, hit subscribe. Because the fact you're watching this means you're curious. And curiosity, that's the first sign of growth.